Hey, what's up everybody? Too Tall Toby here, and welcome back to another tournament highlight video from our recently concluded tournament, the 2025 Spring Open CAD vs. CAD tournament. Now, although that tournament is over, we are currently taking free registration and qualification for our next CAD vs. CAD tournament, the Variety CAD tournament. So if you are a CAD wizard, or if you know a CAD wizard who wants to enter this tournament using any 3D CAD system, you can visit us at tootalltoby.com/tournaments, and you can sign up for that Variety CAD tournament. All right, now today's highlight video is one of the best and closest matches we have ever seen here on the channel. It was Ricardo Jean versus Atse. Ricardo Jean is currently up by 1 point, so if he wins this match, he is going to be the champion of this tournament. And the answers came in within 1 second of one another. That's how close our competitors were. So I hope you enjoy this highlight. This is a sheet metal model, and I have taken a copy of this model and dropped it onto our practice models website. The challenge is called 25-06-04. This is one of the models that is reserved to our subscribers who have the Practice Models Premium subscription. So if you like these types of challenges and you like what we're doing here on the channel, you can support us by visiting us at tootalltoby.com and signing up for that Practice Models Premium subscription. And you can also access this sheet metal challenge and maybe see how quickly you finish it in comparison to these two wizards that we're about to see in today's highlight video. Championship CAD battle. So save that model, close that model. We're ready to move on to the next model here.
I think it's going to be model 21.
I think it's probably going to be model number 21. Yes, I agree. So this next CAD battle now, if Ricardo is able to win this one, he's going to earn the championship. But Atse, as you saw in that last one, could be very easy or very possible to stop him. So here we go. This CAD vs. CAD championship battle between Ricardo Jean from Italy, running SOLIDWORKS, and Atse from Macedonia, running SOLIDWORKS, begins in 3, 2, 1, go! What is the mass of this part in xxx.x grams? Tolerance is plus or minus 2 grams. Wait, this looks like a really simple part. How could this be a tier 5 model? This is crazy. Well, we're gonna see here as these guys get into the action. We've got a sheet metal model here, sheet metal triangle. Of course, as always, you can model it as sheet metal. You can model it as non-sheet metal. That is up to our runners to decide how they want to model it. But good luck to both of our runners here, and let's see what kinds of challenges they run into. So we've got a model here that the flanges are kind of bent up on the corners, and that's for spot welding, and there's a little 0.5 millimeter gap there on those flanges. So let's see what our runners do here. It looks like both of our runners are starting on the top plane. Looks like both of our runners are starting out by creating the geometry of that kind of triangular base. I think that makes plenty of sense. Yeah. Right? Great way to start in sheet metal. I'd say getting in here in sheet metal. One thing I noticed about SOLIDWORKS sheet metal is when you do that initial sheet metal extrude, there's nowhere where you specify the bend radius. And I always thought that was really strange. Like, how can you make sheet metal and not specify the bend radius? I realize there's no bends on it when you extrude it as a planer, but come on. Another thing you're noticing there that Ricardo just ran into is that sheet metal doesn't seem to support contour selection. So you either have to have your trimmed up sketches or no sheet metal. No contour selection in sheet metal. So that's definitely something I've noticed before as well. No. So it looks like Atse was able to quickly get in there, was able to quickly create those tabs sticking off of the 3 sides. I know that Atse has maybe a little bit more sheet metal experience than Ricardo, so it was definitely the wheel of fate there, trying to save that sheet metal model for last. So now we're going to see Atse getting into kind of this rear area of the model and trying to figure out what needs to be done to create that rear area of the model. And with sheet metal, you know, when you're creating sheet metal, sometimes it's easy to get the initial flanges on there, but where you really run into challenges is getting some of those bends running around the sheet metal. So we'll see how our runners do with those challenges.
Yeah.
All right, looks like Atse was able to use some simple arithmetic there in the angle section of that sheet metal to get the correct angle for that flange, and now he's going to try and take that flange up to the existing flange. One of the things that I've noticed is that sometimes with sheet metal, when you say up to vertex, but it's on a non-standard angle, it doesn't quite give you the results you're hoping for. Looks like maybe Atse is aware of that limitation because he opted to create that geometry sticking out over the edge, and then he's going to try to clean that up with a cut extrude.
Very nice.
That's somebody who's got some experience in sheet metal, that's for sure. We also noticed that looking down from the top, we really like the way Ricardo Jean's corners look. That's exactly how they should look, or exactly what they do look like on the drawing, I should say. I don't want to give away too many hints, but I like the way that that's looking, that's for sure.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know who said this, but it's like, knowing what you're doing isn't knowing what to do. It's knowing what to do when things don't work out. Like knowing what to do when things mess up.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big part of it, you know?
Yeah.
That is a big part of it. So now we're going to see Ricardo Jean, and we're going to see what he ends up doing here with this flange region. We can see that Atse looks like he was able to get that flange region in place there over on the right. This is one of these tricky things where you have this like additional geometry sticking out here to create that flange region. And personally, I think that makes things very tricky to do in sheet metal. But we're going to see here how both of our runners handle it. And I definitely like what I'm seeing here. That's for sure. I really like what I'm seeing here from Ricardo Jean. I think this is a very clever way of handling this. The goal is to come up with the mass, and sometimes that's just what you need to do. Robbie Park says Connor's wise words. Love it. Yeah. Completely agree.
So what happens if Atse wins this match?
So if Atse wins this match, then they'll be tied 1-1, and then we're going to have to go to our bonus challenge.
Wow.
Yeah, we do have contingencies here at Too Tall Toby. We try to make sure that our runners are taken care of, you know?
Yeah.
We try to always make sure that our runners are taken care of. And of course, we've booked the extra time in this room in case the live stream does go over time, so I think we'll be okay there too.
Yeah. The hidden 21A model.
Yes, exactly. The hidden 21A model.
Wow.
Wow.
This is weird. It's weird looking at these guys doing this.
Yeah, this is one of these things where, like, if you've done any sheet metal, you know the kinds of challenges that they are potentially running into here, trying to get the model to match up with what the customer's asking for. And when you do sheet metal, the customer always comes back to you and says, like, hey, can you make this more like this? Can you change this gap here to 0.5? Can you change this the way this looks here? I don't like the way this looks. That's always what sheet metal happens. And a lot of times, you know, what you want to say to them is like, look, once it gets manufactured, it's going to be fine. But sometimes they really want to see it in the 3D model. And so it's up to you to figure that out. Look at this, Ricardo going through and trying to change the radius, and SolidWorks being a little bit difficult, not letting him change the radius there. So that's definitely another thing that we've all run into in SolidWorks. There we go. We saw he was able to override that radius, and that way he was able to get that geometry into the right place. And now he's got that slot cut, and he's going to be adding that slot cut. Wow, both of these runners are truly neck and neck here. We see Atse going for the mass, and we're going to find out if he got it correct. And we're watching the chat. Atse coming in with an answer. 544.3 grams. Ricardo Jean coming in with an answer. 544.3 grams. Guys, 544.3 grams is correct, and Atse is going to win that battle and win that point. And wow, 1 second difference. Wow, both those answers came in so fast. The correct answer is 554.3 grams. 554.3 grams, and both of our runners got that correct answer within about 1 second of each other. This is what we came to see in the championship match. Wow, guys, fantastic work. Wow. These guys are truly masters. We are watching true championship battles here.
Yes.
My goodness.
Jern, the dream of 4 matches is here.
Yeah.
It is here.
Wow. I'd say well done. And you are up against a worthy foe.
Yeah.
Both of you guys, man.
That was crazy.
554.3 is the correct answer. And wow, did that come in fast.
Yeah.
Wow. Watch a third match.